Hey Brody, so there seems to be this problem with particularly the younger generations, but I think it's a problem for a lot of people, where you read something, like you read a sentence, you read a page, and it just feels like it went in one ear and out the other ear. And I personally used to have this problem too, where I would get a book and I would just be reading a page, I would maybe finish a page, and I would kind of space out for a second and be like, what the hell did I just read? And it was really frustrating because it feels like you should be able to read. But I don't have that problem anymore because I've learned what causes it. So with this video, I'm hoping that I can just have a discussion that will show you why people have this issue and also teach you how to fix this issue for yourself. So when I was really young, I'm talking like younger than that probably, I really liked reading. Even up until probably like 4th grade, I would read a lot and I would enjoy reading, and I would finish books, I would finish series of books, and it was something I actually just enjoyed. But I think there came this point where it became mandatory to read, and it felt as if it wasn't something I was doing because I enjoyed, but it was something that I needed to do because I was forced to. And because of bad habits I was developing that I didn't realize were hurting my focus, but they were, over time I was getting worse at reading than I was when I was younger. And I think a lot of people have the same exact problem. And by the time I was in high school, I remember if I got a textbook or something, it was like, I'm not going to even read it. I don't even want to read it because I know if I try to read it, I'm just going to forget what I read about and it's not even going to be worth my time. And honestly, I still had that problem until after I graduated high school, and I started to do a lot of self-work and focusing on my health. And through that process, I figured out the reason I wasn't able to focus on what I was reading. And now I literally, if you look at this bookshelf here, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but I've probably read in 1 year like 30 books or so. And that's because I've realized what was causing this attention problem. So I think the first reason that you struggle to read books now, and I used to have this problem too, is because you are practicing using your attention in a way that makes it almost impossible for you to sit down and read a book. So for example, when I was in high school, they didn't ban phones for some reason. I could be on my phone all day if I wanted to. So like any high schooler, I would be sitting on my phone on TikTok the whole day, I swear to God. And what that does is you are literally practicing using your focus for like 5 to 10 seconds, because you get, oh, this TikTok sucks, swipe. Oh, this sucks, swipe, da-da-da. And it's not just TikTok. This works with other social media platforms, because you see so many different things. Like even on YouTube, if you're scrolling in your recommended feed or the homepage, you see so many different thumbnails. And every single time you look at a different video, your attention is switching every single time. So you are in a sense practicing having bad focus. So it's no wonder why you go to a book or something and you start to read a page or something, and it's literally just paper and words, and it doesn't stick into your brain because you've practiced only being able to focus for like 8 seconds. So personally, the way I fixed this was I stopped using TikTok, I stopped using social media, I stopped doing most things that are like super overly stimulating. That's how I fixed this problem. And now I still use some social media, but it's mostly YouTube, and most of those videos are educational. So it's like a podcast, or I'm taking notes on it, like I'm literally studying the video. And that alone was probably one of the biggest things that I personally did to practice having better focus, because your focus is a muscle. So if you practice reading longer, even if it's bad at first, you're going to eventually get better at reading and be able to retain most of what you read with enough practice. Hey Brody, so I make conversational videos like this all the time, and also full guide videos that are meant to benefit your life, to optimize yourself. So if you want to get more videos like that in the future, just drop a subscription on the channel. It'll be extremely appreciated. Now, I think the second factor with being able to read is probably your health. And I think school never talks about this, and it's probably because people don't know this, but the school boards across America, they're usually lobbied by the food corporations. And it's in the food corporation's interest to make you not educated about food. Because if you understood what was happening to the food that you're eating and other aspects of your health, you wouldn't buy the food. So if I were to give you very simple advice from what I've done this past year, becoming more healthy and just trying to be the best version of myself possible for my health, at least, is, so first off, the main things with your health are going to be your diet, your exercise, your sleep. These are the core things with your health. Obviously, there's going to be more, but if you get your diet, exercise, and sleep on point, that's basically almost the best you could do. There's going to be other things you can tack on there to help, but those are the biggest things you can do. So first off, for your diet, the biggest thing for me to fix my focus was I just completely stopped eating processed foods, because the way that food gets made now is this is how they make food so addictive. They put it into a store and they have box A, box B, and they don't tell you which one is which, but they have slightly different formulas. Whichever of those formulas goes off the shelf a little bit quicker, that one gets put into the circulation, and then they keep doing that. Imagine they do that 1,000 times. You end up getting like this very addictive food. Look at cereal, that's a perfect example. But they're not actually making it nutritional whatsoever. They're optimizing it for addictability, because that's how it goes off the shelf quicker. And all of that processed food has zero nutritional value, and it does not fuel your brain. It does not fuel your body. It actually makes you sick. And the first thing with my diet, just switching to whole foods, which an easy way to know is like, does this come from the ground, or does this come from something that ate something that come from the ground? Super simple rule of thumb to follow, and that's one of the best things I did for my health in the past like 5 years. The next thing is exercise. I'm not going to talk about this too much. It's fairly obvious. I think most people know this. If you start exercising, your focus is going to get better. You're going to become more healthy. You're going to get a better physique, and you're going to be attracting people who you want to attract easier. And around the board, if you just start exercising, you're going to have more success in your life, period. I think everyone can benefit from exercise. And the final thing with your health, at least, is sleep. For sure. Sleep is probably one of the biggest things that if you are not sleeping properly, your focus is not going to work. It simply just won't work, because if you're tired, you're obviously not going to sleep well. So the main things with your sleep is just like giving yourself enough time to sleep properly, and you need to experiment with that. You need to experiment with how long do you need to sleep to actually get 8 hours of sleep in? Because most people think that if they go to bed at 12 p.m. and wake up at 8 a.m., they got 8 hours of sleep. But people don't think about the transition time. So you typically need to give yourself like 9 hours in bed, or maybe sometimes like 10 if your sleep efficiency is bad, to actually get that full 8 hours that you need. And there's a bunch of stuff with your sleep to make it better. If you're trying to actually really learn about your sleep, I have a video in the cards that will teach you about how to sleep properly. I personally have been using the same ingredients in that video to make my sleep almost perfect, and that's like the best things that I've done for my ability to focus, like, period. So now with all of those things, I literally am able to, if I really wanted to, I could probably read this book in one sitting, and I have done that before. And it's because I've been working on myself as a person. So if you follow all of those core fundamental things for your health, that's how you're going to fix your ability to read. It's not trying to learn like some weird technique to read better. It starts with you and making yourself optimized, I guess you could say.